Good morning, everyone. So this week we first start with a Python NumPy tutorial. Although I already shared with you for the document a long time ago, but I just updated yesterday and also shared with you the latest tutorial. So to help you to prepare the programming or start the Python learning as soon as possible, I want to go through the document and help you just understand how to install the Anaconda and configure the environment. So first one, this is the document. You open the document and then you find you need to install Anaconda. As I mentioned the last time, so you can configure your Python individually, but that's not recommended. That means you just only install Python. So I will suggest you install the Anaconda. This one seems like a integration platform, okay? Just like a platform. It contains all the related things together. For example, maybe you will use, in addition to Python, you will use Jupyter Notebook and some other Spider and R or something, correct? So that's why we recommend you just install this one. And the other one is that this one is easy for you to do the update. Okay, so you may just only run one command. We update all the software. Okay, I will go through this document one by one and show you some demos as well. Okay, so for example, you first go to this link, okay, and then download the Anaconda for your computer, okay, for your computer. So start it. Products, okay. I think the last time I don't have problem. What happened this time? Okay, let's go to okay, maybe select this one and then oh yes, this here. So basically, yeah, you just select the installer accordingly. For example, I'm using Windows, so you select this one and then download. Okay, so because I already downloaded, I don't want to do it again. Okay, let's cancel this one. So for example, if you are using something else, okay, and then you just install according Linux or Mac OS. So I download this one. So it's this is the latest version. Okay, just download yesterday, though I already installed the old version before. So once you have this one, and then you just click. So this one will install this Anaconda. I think the installation should be very quick. Okay, and just one thing I want to mention, for example, if you already installed Anaconda before, you want to install this latest version, you need to uninstall the previous one, otherwise there's some conflicts. And also maybe to make sure there's no conflicts, maybe you can install Anaconda in another path. For example, this is just install for me, recommended. You can change this one, right? So for example, I'm not installed here. This is the previous version. I install in another one. Just any location, because this is only for the software. So for example, I installed here. In fact, I installed instead programming and AI. So that means I created a new location. Okay, so I don't want to go through this one. So after you do next till the end, and then you will get, okay, so you will get this one. That means after install you get this anaconda. So will be this user interface. So if you installed, you want to start this user interface, you can also search here, right? You can find it from your, it's a little bit slower, from your programs, and then it will show up just anaconda. I prefer use this user interface rather than you can use something else. For example, you only want to get the promote, so you can click this one. That's also fine. This is a quick cut. So then you are already able to run the commands. Okay, but this one is better. Why? The reason is that this one will help you to switch between different tools. So you can find here the most important one is the command cmd ESE promote. That means this is command, just like a command line kind of interpreter. Command line interpreter. This is like a DOS user interface. You can run the commands here. Okay. And then you may want to use Jupyter. Jupyter here we have two tools. Later we'll give some introduction about this one as well. But the basic idea is that a Jupyter Notebook will help you to run Jupyter, the Python notebook, Jupyter Notebook, and then you can run the code together with the document. That means in a document you have both code and the description, and you also can run each instruction. So this is easy for you. You can also not use this one, you can use another promote. So you can try. And Qt is for the user interface, kind of GUI, PyQt. So yeah, if you want to develop some GUI for user interface, you can use this tool. And Spider is for Python programming, just for the Python development environment. So it's like IDE. It can help you do the debugging and so on. But I will suggest you just integrate the Python. I mean, use the, for example, if you are familiar with the Visual Studio, so it's better you can use that one. I also mentioned about that one in the document. Okay, and the VS Code, you can read the code, and this one I didn't use multi-dimensional data. This is about visualization. Right? Visualize the results. And this one is data mining framework. Maybe you don't use this too much. But RStudio, for example, if you want to develop some statistical software, so RStudio R will be an important one. So that's for the data science. Okay. So let's look at, for example, for here, you can just click launch, and then you can find here you have the same command line as this one. For example, if you just use this anaconda and then click this one, they're the same, right? Almost the same. Okay, so that means the promote is the same. That means this one is the anaconda promote, not the, for example, the Windows one, right? For example, if we run cmd, that will be different, right? You can find here there's no base here. So for here you can this run DOS command, right? DOS dir and so on. But this one you can just run the Python code, right? So it's Python. So for example, if you run Python, and this now is enter the Python mode. Okay. So later we talk about. So this is just an anaconda promote. Okay. So go back. Once we install this one, okay, you can switch between the software. And if you are not familiar with the usage of the anaconda, I will highly recommend you just read this document. This is the user guide for anaconda. For example, will help you to understand how to run the different scenes in that navigator. Okay, like these things. Okay, let's go a little bit. So we can, for example, we can run Python, run Jupyter, and so on. This one will teach you how to enter. Okay, for example, like just now we start Python. Okay, we type Python. But if we want to exit Python, we want to go to the previous one, you just use Ctrl Z. Okay. Click this one. So this is the Python. Okay. If we use Ctrl Z, and then you will go to the previous one. Okay. If we use Python, and then it will go to this one. Ctrl Z will exit. Yeah, just like this. So go through this document will help you to understand how to use an coda. Okay, and also will help you. It was about a coda. An coda, you know, is a snake, kind of big snake. It contains a lot of things together. So that means this is great. So it's big enough and convenient enough. Okay, go through this one. Just help you understand how to utilize all the things there. Use navigator, use spider, use coda. Okay, I will just only point out some important things here. Okay, so for example, this one will if you click spider, it will do this. So it can run Python code. Okay, so it also can help you to do the debugging. But I will just suggest you use Visual Studio. But here is still you can do that. For example, like here we have one, so you can click, you can insert a breakpoint and run it till here, and so on and so forth. So this is exactly like the IDE you have used for the Visual C++, Visual and the Java, and like those things using the Visual Studio. Okay, so but it's specifically designed for Python. And maybe you will prefer this one, because this one we can run both. For example, this is like the code. This is the command line, the console. So you can run one command here. Okay, let's go to this one to show a little bit. A little bit slower, kind of. So you can just point to those icons. You know what's the meaning for each one. Okay. So okay, it's two. Okay, now it's come up. Okay, the spider 4.1.5 is available. Check for updates. You can find it here. Okay, they will do update automatically every time if you configure like this. And then so here you can find it here. Now the first is different. Okay, so for example, 1 plus 1 you can get 2. Okay, you can run the, because this is script language. Okay, script language, so that will be easy for you to do the calculation. Okay, cosine maybe not correct. It's not this. Not defined. Square t. Okay, now the spider is coming up. For example, we can either use this code UI or use this script UI. This is like a code. This is a script. So you can find the interface is different from the previous version. But anyway, it's no problem. You print. You can use single or double, and then hello. Coda. and then you can run here. Okay, for example, run this. Okay, and then we get results. You can also do here. For example, for simple things, you can just do here. Okay, just like this. Okay. So basically, you can also insert breakpoints to debug the code. Okay. So just similar like what you have learned before. Okay. Just utilize this IDE. For time issue, I don't go with this one by one. So anyway, you can just play with this one. This is just a tool for you to debug code. If you are still familiar with the Visual Studio, you prefer that one, you can also do similarly, which you can follow my document how to run the Python code or Python project in Visual Studio. Okay, in the following. And then next one is Jupyter. So Jupyter Notebook is usually used in the Python programming. The reason is that we can use this document, use this software to show the document for code communication. The reason is that sometimes we want to show the code, we need to add some commands to it. So we may add a lot, but it's not good to read those things in a code source. So it's better we just have a document. So this notebook is like that. And at the same time, you can also run the code in that notebook. So that's more convenient. Okay? So you can find it here. So the basic idea is that you can follow this one, the notebook. Of course, you can similarly go here, and then you can use this one or this one. Either I think is the same. So just for example, click. It will just open a browser. Okay. And this browser will show. Okay, will show your code, just like a. So of course they will have default. They have a default work path. They will just only, for example, my work path will be here, the C, and then this may be the default one, and then the user, and then my name. So that means they will only load the Jupyter documents, Jupyter Notebook documents in under this workspace. So if you want to change, then you can configure the Jupyter Notebook. So for example, later if you go to the user menu, you will know how to do that. But anyway, you can find it here. In fact, I already have the code here. Okay? The AIMA for this one. The AIMA is our code, okay? Our AI code for Lisp and for Python. So that means I can open the code, for example Python, and then I want to read some, for example, like our next chapter is about agents. So I can click this notebook, and then I can read the code together with the documents. So that's is more convenient for us, okay? Just like this. Okay. And at the same time, you can also run the code. Maybe my environment has not been ready. I'm not sure whether it can do. Then some error, okay? Maybe some error. Maybe I haven't configured. So that means if, for example, some code, you can find this run many times. And then if something, the environment is ready, you can do the running as well. So read this one will help you understand the content as well. So I will highly recommend you learn the text together with the code. Okay, so the code I mentioned to you. So that's this one, AI, an introduction to a modern approach. Go to this one. Go to the home page. Go to the code. So this one is the recommended one. maybe sometimes you will go through other programming languages package, but maybe Python will be the most important resource. So that's what I showed just now, is just this one, but I already downloaded it. Okay, so this is the reason. And then for other things, how to utilize other things. For example, you can find here if you can add it and something like these things. You can just follow the commands, follow this document. I already list the resources. For example, running the notebook, you can click this one, and this one will help you know how to do the basic usage, how to use this one. Okay, for example, basic steps, starting notebook server, introducing the command line options, like this one. Okay, you can run this one. If you don't want to click that one, you can go through the command line. For example, from here, this will also open the notebook, Jupyter notebook, and then it will open this one as well. So you can find here, when we do the opening, you can find we have some promote cat. So they will have this read this one. So it's default that we use this port. Port means just like socket. This one is preferred site surface. And then if you don't want to use this port, you can change this one. Okay. So the document here also have the method how to change the port. For example, this port has been occupied to provide some other service, so then it cannot show in this browser for two services. Okay? So we need to change. And then this extension loaded from here, okay? Because I installed in this package. And Jupyter Lab application directory is this one. Surfing notebook from, so you can find surfing notebooks from local directory. This is my working directory, work directory. Okay? If you want to change this one, you can configure in the notebook. Then it can load the Jupyter notebook from other paths which you want to access. Okay. And the Jupyter notebook is running here like a local host, because this is running on my computer. Okay. And so on. Okay. So my suggestion is that read through this one. Okay. The same about this one, dashboard, and how to specify a specific notebook. So you start this one using a custom IP and port. Okay. You can do like this one. You want to change the port and to another one. You can do like this. And the next one you can continue. Okay. And the next one is Jupyter installation, configuration, and usage. So I also list this one here. Okay. So I also recommend you continue reading this one. So this one will help you know the related things. Okay. So how to use that notebook to the maximum strength. So just go through these links. Okay. So this will help you use the whole things. I think the most important thing is just one is the code, the Python code, kind of like py.py, and the other one is .pymb. That's the Python notebook, IPython notebook. So that means sometime maybe I'll ask you to refer to some code here, so you need to understand how to use it. Okay? So follow the instructions, and then you should be able to do that. Okay, next one. Here tell you how to start Python. I already told. Okay, so just input Python, and then you can also run some commands here, because now you are run the Python environment. So you can find that 3 right angle, okay, right angle brace. So that's the new environment, not uncoded. The command promote is the Python promote prompt. Okay, and then exit this one just using Ctrl Z. Okay, Logic Spider, similarly you can just doing similarly spider, and then it will show Jupyter Notebook. Okay, I already showed. Okay, so next one. So these things I will not go through because this is just help you to know how to use Python, right? And also under the context, in the context of AI learning. So this is also an AI related course. So it's about convolutional neural networks. So it's related to this one as well. So Python. And then read the grammar in this book. So this one will tell you how to integrate the Python development. That means in the IDE. In fact, it's already integrated. That means just utilize the Visual Studio for the development. Okay. So install Python support in Visual Studio on Windows. So you need to click this one first and then install. Okay. So okay, install this one. I believe I already installed this one, so you can so you can go through these steps and then do that. Okay? That's not hard. Just go one by one, and then just like want to make the Visual Studio support your Python development. That's the target. Okay. That's not a big issue for you. Okay. So next one, for example, you can test this one. Get started. Okay. Get started here. You can run a Python, just like run the. This is test. Okay, maybe that during the installation, you will have this test. And then if you want to use Visual Studio now, okay, and then develop a Python project, so you can follow this one. Okay, so you first create a project. Okay, like this one. It's this one. This is this one. This is open something. And then I think I already have some project in the Python code, but I want to create a new one. For example, create a new project, and then it already have this one kind of Python application. So if you select this one, that's your preferred C++. If you select this one, that's Python. And then Python application, a project for creating a command line application or from existing Python code. So for example, if you want to use the default one, you just continue, and then you can name it. Okay, Windows. Okay, 1. That's okay. Create. Okay, so once that process is done, you will have this thing here. So this is the main function, main file. So that means you can input your code here. Okay? So this is the idea. Okay. And then you can run the code here, same like the previous one. Okay? So this is the basic idea. Maybe I can know the one, my previous one, then can help you. Okay. For example, this is a simple one, correct? This is a simple one. So this is just some. I think it's a simple question. For example, this is stock price, and then you have you can choose when to sell when to buy. You need to first buy and then sell, and then you want to make the maximum profit. So based on this price series, just give the results when we get the maximum profit. Okay, so this is the simple code for that one. So I can, for example, I can set for example, to initialize the maximum price and minimum price. Initialize this one to be minus infinity, this one to be positive positive infinity. And for this one, of course, the good way is that you only go to. Okay, so that means we can do like this print. For example, we just go through one loop. Okay, if we can develop a linear algorithm, linear complexity algorithm for this, that's better. Don't want to search more than one time. Okay. So this one, you because you can only buy sell the stock before you buy. Okay, after you buy. So maybe you need to consider, for example, if you find a maximum here, whether you have a minimum in front or after. Okay, so that's the reason I just put something here. Okay, so that means the minimum price. Okay, if it's larger than this one, we do this one, but we also need to check here. Okay, whether it's the same side or different side. Okay, if this is the main reason. Okay, so that's why we need to get a pre-minimum. So we save every time we save the pre-minimum, the minimum price. When we have found another one which is less than the minimum, we will save the pre-minimum to here and then update. Okay, in case we need to do like that, that means if the same side. Okay, so that means we will use this one. If it's a different side, we will use this one. Okay, so for here you can just run the code. Okay, like this one. What's the problem? Notch fail the notch debugging and pass. So for example, if we want to run this code, for example, we want to test whether the result is correct or not, we can use the F line to toggle a breakpoint. For example, like this one. Okay, go back. So and then we can run start. Okay, and then it will go to the breakpoint, and then you can see what's the current results. So the the position for the mean price is 0, means because the array start from 0. And then the max P is 10, that means the position with the max price is 10. And then after that we have the in between, right, the gain. That will be max P minus min P. Is it correct? So 0 is the 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this one buy, this one sell. Okay? That's the maximum gain for this one. So this is very convenient for us to debug. Okay? Seems because we are more familiar with this Visual Studio. Okay. Of course, if you prefer the spider, is also fine. But this just give you a option. Okay, give you option for this one. Okay, let's go back for the rest. Okay, this is the debugger debug. Continue. F5 is running. Okay. So here you can add some packages as well. For example, you want to add some packages, you can do like this. Just view other Windows Python environments and packages. other windows, and then Python packages, Python environment. So for here you can add a new one. If you don't know, you can also even search here. I think we have that method. Okay, this is the let's go back. Other windows, Python environment, select the packages, Python environment, and this one, this one, packages. So for example, you want to show a figure, so you may need to add the matplot, matplot. So this one, you can just install, and then it will install. If you know the package name, or you can do like this. If you don't know, you can just go through, just browse the packages, or you can Google to see whether you have some packages. So Python, the most powerful thing is that it contains a lot of packages. Just like you are doing class-based programming, just use OOP, object-oriented programming. You already have a lot of people, experts, who have provided you with a lot of packages. So you can just find the packages to add into your solution, rather than just start everything from scratch. So this is just like an open environment. Everybody can contribute, and always the packages will be the best implementation, or maybe most of the time maybe the best, or at least excellent implementations provided by the people. So this is good. For example, the idea is similar like the MATLAB, but the problem is that MATLAB is not free, but Python is free. MATLAB is for scientific computation or scientific computation, and every maybe researcher ever use it, just because it is very convenient. The expert will write, for example, image processing package, data loading package, and even like a wireless communication, and the web server, and also maybe simulation. So a lot of packages are there, and people can utilize those packages directly. So that's the reason. We want to use MATLAB, but MATLAB is expensive. But here it's cheap. It's open source. Okay, here give you just like an example exam. You can just put this one, and then do it. Okay, just similarly, I think we preferably we have one we have one project. We can open that one first, and then we input this code to see. Save it. So basically, you can find here, this is the code, and then you can also configure the running environment. For example, you can run on which CPU. You can also configure the environment. Maybe you have multiple environment. Like here, I have, for example, you want to install some Python directly, some version. Maybe the code is only good for this Python version you can install. But like mine, I already installed some Python code. For example, like the one we have, and the code is Python 3.6. But in fact, I also installed Python 3.7. We now have Python 3.8. So you can just search whether you want to use an code one, or the installed 3.7 and 3.8. I installed these two, I think. So you can choose. And maybe you can also use the conda environment. Maybe if you don't have installed that one before, you need to configure the way to configure this one. So you can choose one accordingly. Okay, so this is set which one as your current one. Okay, so this is the idea, and then we can run this one. Something wrong. Let's run this one. Okay, seems there's something wrong. The environment. Let's use the, for example, an coda one. Oh, this one coda. This is existing. Okay, use this one. Use this one to run this one. Okay, except there's an error here. So let's run it again. I think the most problem that I installed, I changed the environment when I installed Python and Coda. Python with Python. Let's run it again. No. No compatible code running. The Snap debugger engine does not support any code current thread. Okay, we can continue. Don't need to do this one. Okay, in the past I don't have any issue, just the environment issue. Maybe I haven't installed this one.